Hey guys, my name is Jen Carrasco. I am a serial entrepreneur, founder of many six-figure businesses. I am also a skincare creator, an IFBB pro athlete that is extremely passionate about helping entrepreneurs grow their business and, most importantly, helping you and everybody else to own their shit. Welcome to Own Your Shit, the podcast. This is the show where we stop the comparison cycle, we eliminate the need for a secret sauce, and realize that the faster we own the way we stand in our own way, the faster and shorter the route is to creating that life we all crave. So, with that being said, now let's own your own shit. Hey guys, it is Jen Carrasco with Own Your Own Shit with Jen Carrasco again. So please like, rate, review, share, because we want fucking ratings. That's really what we want, right? I mean, come on. I mean, we're going to help people, but if we're doing this, we need some cookies with this. Like, give us something, right? I mean, you do it. Okay. So before we start, which I'm thoroughly excited, is one of the Apex executive coach, my brother. And I'm going to let him introduce himself, tell him who he is, how he owns his shit, how he is the man, because he is a damn leader. So here is my brother. Take it over.
Woo! I'm the damn leader. Y'all hear that? That's a woman saying that, by the way. So let's put some.
Because he makes good choices.
I do. So my name is Marc Zalmanoff. I am known as the Fitness Ninja. I have been coaching for 19 years, which is nuts. I've owned gyms. I coach online. I coach other fitness professionals to help them grow their business. I'm an executive coach in the Apex program. I wrote a book called Make Good Choices, which was an Amazon bestseller earlier this year. And I'm on a mission to make America fit again, help people make good choices and leave the world better.
I love that. Make America fit again. That's it.
I had my shirt on in the gym, and I got a new client that came in the other day, and he's like, does anybody ever say anything to you about that shirt? And I'm like, dude, we live in Texas. You kidding me? It smells like freedom around here.
I want a shirt like that, and I'm going to wear that motherfucker in California.
I will bring you one. So thank you for having me on, Jen. I've been excited about this one. You know, we run in a tight circle of people, and it's pretty awesome how we've all kind of come together at this time. So many of us didn't know each other a year and a half ago. And we've been able to get in this network and form these bonds with just amazing humans. And then we've all leveled up. Like every fucking one of us has leveled up. And we're all in this realm of like, now what do I do? Because so many of us have reached a point of success that we've literally never had before. And not just money either. You know, the money's great, but the influence, the chances and opportunities to do bigger things, to collaborate with other awesome people, to be on podcasts like this, to get our voice heard. And it's really incredible. And to me, that's part of this entrepreneur journey that we're all on. And those of us who are willing to step up into that leadership role and own our shit are the ones who have absolutely flourished over these last 18 months. You know, we're about a year and a half from the bottom dropping out. And there was to me, it was it's this human experiment, right? It's this giant weird ass human experiment that we're all going through. It's weird, right? And you know, you can get into the politics and the mask and the vaccines and all that. And I think that there will always be those that take advantage of a situation. So was this concocted by some big grand scheme? Maybe, I don't know. You know, you can debate that all day long, but there will be people that take advantage of it. And when that happens, you get this hard line in the sand of people who are like, well, all right, here's where we are now. I'm going to go solve problems and be of service to the world. Yep. Simple as that. And then you got the whole other crowd that's, I'm going to go hide in my house and do whatever. And I'm not judging anyone. You know, you're going to do what you want to do, but there's something to be said for the success that so many of us have had recently, and just leaning into our strengths, locking arms with like-minded people, and just attacking shit.
The thing is
awesome.
That people live in fear. That's really what it is. And honestly, I still have fear. Like, for instance, like I just took this big, huge chunk to do this boot camp that's going to progress what I want to do. But it was a lot of money. And I was just kind of like, oh, breathe through it, breathe through it, breathe through it, breathe through it. Right. But that's only going to get us ahead more. It's just like fitness, right? It freaking burns when you're hitting that muscle. But my ass is going to look good in 3 months when you know what I mean?
Our buddy Sammy posted something about fear on Facebook. And, you know, we're only born with 2 innate fears. And it's the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. And if you think from an evolutionary standpoint, that makes sense. You know, if you're standing next to a cliff and that innate fear of like, oh shit, if I fall, I'm going to die. So that's a good thing to have. And the loud noise thing, I believe, comes from like giant animals that man had to fight off, you know, thousands of years ago. You heard a noise, you're like, what's that? Oh, it's a mammoth. Oh, it's a saber-toothed tiger. Oh, it's something that wants to eat me. Now I have a decision to make. But those are only 2 born fears that we have. Every other fear that we experience is learned. Now, some of those are probably a good thing. Like, you know, you need to have a healthy respect of things like fire and fast moving vehicles, you know, things that man didn't deal with thousands of years ago. But all these other things that we operate with, that fear of loss and fear of failure and all that, like those are learned behaviors. We pick those up from someone or something or some experience that we've had along the way. And we feel a certain way when that happens. And then we're like, I don't want to feel that way anymore.
Yep.
But the crazy thing is all those feelings are always going to be there. Like we are human beings. And so we are going to experience emotion, but it's our decision of what we do with that. We can own it and go, okay, you know, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling fearful, or whatever it is. But too often people let those things define them. They say, I am anxious, or I am nervous, or I am scared. And they're defining who they are instead of saying, I'm experiencing anxiety, I'm experiencing sadness, I'm experiencing joy, whatever it is. And I think when someone can wrap their head around what that means and internally what you're telling yourself, when you say I am sad, you're calling yourself a sad person. Yeah. When you say I'm experiencing sadness, well, then you are who you are, and you're just having an emotion in that moment that says, oh, you know, I feel sad about this thing. You know, maybe it's a lost loved one, maybe it's a relationship, whatever it is. And it allows you to work through that so much faster. Yeah. But I mean, you know, people like having a victim mentality. Again, it's something that I think is a learned behavior, and it allows them to not own their shit. It allows them to not take responsibility. It allows them to point the finger everywhere else and say, well, he's president, so I can't do this. And the economy's this, and I can't do this. And it froze outside, or it's hot outside, or whatever. And so they empower everything else but themselves. So they don't have to do anything. So they don't have to own it.
It's called the average mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
And kudos to them, because it makes it easier for us.
Oh my God. So Mike and I just had that conversation. He's like, it's okay. I want them to be C because I'm going to be A. And it's going to be way easier to be A if they stay at C. And I was like, you're right.
You know, right now, I believe it's as easy as it's ever been to separate yourself from the rest.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you just here's a great example. If you go out right now to a restaurant, there's very few that have their shit together, like very few of them. There's very few that are fully staffed. That's a whole other issue. There's very few that didn't cut their menu down, that didn't blame COVID and go, well, you know, we can't do this anymore because There's very few of those, but the ones that are still operating at a high level, that are still providing great customer service, that are still providing great meals, they're thriving. Like there's this Tex-Mex restaurant down the street from my house, and that place is fucking packed all the time. And it's not a high-end place. It's just really good food. And they just never cut their standards with what they do.
Yeah.
There's still a lot, if I went on a Friday, Saturday night at 7:00, I'm probably going to wait an hour.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's places literally all around them that have shut down, they closed, they turned over, they changed into something else because all those other ones are using, they're just making excuses for it.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a blessing for me, and it's a blessing for you that we're willing to go, all right, well, now it's really go time. Now I really get to double.
Yeah. And that's true. I mean, you look at it, I've been in the skin industry for 21 years, right? And I've always excelled. And so, I really want to get back to you that's the same with you, like 19 years in the fitness industry, and you're still dominating it, which is saying that you are above the rest, right? You may, like you say, you make good choices, you do the right thing, you help people the way that you should. So I want to know, what is your own your shit story? So we all have them. It's that one memory in our head that we go, fuck, that's when I owned my shit because such and such happened in our lives, right?
You've heard some of this story before. And I talk about it in my book. My grandmother was a really huge influence on me growing up. It was her and my dad raised me. She was always close by. Some of the time she lived with us. In the last 15 years or so of her life, she dealt with 3 different cancers and diabetes and high blood pressure and 2 strokes and couldn't drive anymore and all those things, right? Thankfully, mentally, she was always there. Like literally until the end, her mind was sharp. She did things intentionally to keep it that way. She did these like little crossword puzzles and seek and find books and stuff. But she knew what she was doing. She was like, I got to keep my brain going. My body's failing me, but damn it, I can keep my brain functional and healthy. And that woman just operated with joy day in and day out. And she lived in this facility that it wasn't a nursing home because she was still kind of on her own. There was help if they needed it, but it was all old people. And it's like the stereotypical old guy that gets up, oh, my back, where's my pills? And, oh, my knees, and I can't do this and I can't do that. And she never succumbed to that. All the time, she had a smile on her face. She greeted people. She said hi. And at the time, I didn't realize I was being taken to school by this woman. But later in life, I started to think, like she had every right to complain, and nobody would have faulted her if she had. But she chose not to. It was a true decision on her part to go, you know what? I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. Thank you, Lord, for another day. And over time, as my life progressed, and I got married, I got divorced, left a gym to start my own gym, and then left that gym because I had a shitty business partner, and I wasn't doing things I should have been doing. All the things. I started to gain more perspective of what my grandmother was teaching me all those years. And she owned it. She just owned it. A lot of the health things that she went through were because of poor choices over the years. She smoked for years like everyone did back then. She didn't really take good care of her diet. She didn't really exercise because most people just didn't. Yeah. So she didn't know any better. But again, she owned that and said, well, you know what? That's the decisions I made, but now I get to make these decisions. Yeah. And so over the years, I've just learned that, like I said before, anytime you place blame elsewhere, you're giving that thing power. You're giving power and saying, well, I can't change until the president changes, and I can't change until the gas prices go down, and I can't change until COVID goes away. And that's bullshit. Yep. It's just straight up bullshit. And the more that I've been able to just reject those things and go, nope, I'm in control. I can control this right here, me. I can control my thoughts and my actions. And as long as I keep that control and I wake up every day with the purpose that I have and I do my best, that's all I have to worry about. Yeah. And everything else just kind of falls where it is. And, we talk about core values a lot and the importance of that. And obviously that plays a role in knowing who you are, not what you are, but who you are and how you desire to be viewed from the world. I don't put a lot of stock in what people think of me, but I know if I operate with integrity and I'm living the life that I'm meant to live and I'm being authentic, then I will be received well. And I know that. And I'll be received well by the people that I want to be received well by.
Yeah.
You know, we're not for everybody. We know that.
Absolutely. Not at all.
But you know, it all really does go back to my grandmother. I mean, I credit her with so much. And, you know, I was grateful when she was alive too, because that example of gratitude had just always been around me. So, you know, I didn't take her for granted. I really appreciated her. You know, we talked all the time. We spent time together. So I don't have to look back and go, man, I wish I would have told her, you know, how much she meant to me. We did a lot, which is awesome. You know, I'm very thankful for that. And you know, part of me, I think, is just to kind of carry on her legacy and what she stood for, and continue to spread that joy in the world.
No, thank you for sharing that. I think that's awesome. And it just helps people to get aligned, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about your book. What
Yes.
created you to write a best-selling book? I mean,
Well, you know, we got this little group of people that push us to write books. So we got that going for us. You know, the book thing is funny because, like so many people for years, I said, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. And I just kept saying it, not doing anything. So finally getting in the Apex network, seeing people do it, seeing some
make you on your shit.
Yeah. You know, seeing people say, hey, it's time to write your damn book. I was like, all right. So then you sit around and you go, what the fuck am I going to write a book about? And it's interesting because I knew that I did not want to write a health and fitness book. Like I had zero desire to do that because there's a bajillion of them out there and nobody fucking reads them and nobody does any of the plans that are in them. I think after Body for Life, everyone was jaded by a book with an exercise program. So I didn't want that. I wanted something else. And I know for me, part of the book for me was the evolution of my career. And I had to get out of being always seen as just a personal trainer. And I know people still associate me with fitness, and that's totally fine because that's a large part of what I do. But I want to be more than that. So the book, it was being written and I didn't know it. So I write a lot on social media. You know, it's the nonstop social media game that we all play. And when it came time to start putting some thoughts on paper, I looked up and went, oh, fuck, I wrote the book already.
Yeah.
Because I've been writing this column every Monday for, I don't know, 2-3 years, and I have everything saved. And it's all about mindset. It's quotes from Stoicism. It's quotes from the Bible. It's quotes from movies. It's stupid things I say. Like, and then it's just my own take and perspective on what it means to my life or what it's meant to my clients and how I've helped people shift their thinking through those things. So I just compiled 52 of them for a year-long read because that aligns with my desire to have relationships with people. You know, if you're a fitness professional and you're good, you build relationships. That's what you do. And they're long-term relationships. I got a guy he's been coaching with me for 13 straight years in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, and until one of us dies or moves, I'm pretty sure that relationship is going to continue.
Yeah.
And so the book just made sense to map it out that way, where I really want people to think differently.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the change happens, right? That's where we can actually affect what's going on in the world. It's between our ears first. And if we can't get people to gain some perspective on things, then we're lost.
Yeah.
So being able to write something that says, hey, read this on Monday, soak it in, think about what it means, answer this thought-provoking question that goes along with it, and then come back next week for another one.
Yeah.
So instead of just plowing through and, you know, you half-ass read it and you're not really paying attention and you never really soak that one in and you feel this urge, well, I got to read the next one because it's the next day's one. I don't want to miss out. Like I wanted people to really take in the lesson.
Yeah.
And it's been received way better than I could have ever imagined. You know, it's really cool when we see all of our circle writing these books. And every time, like nobody knows what to expect. You never know what people are going to think.
Yeah.
we like to think that we know because
Yeah.
of our social media audience and the way people interact with our content. But a book is a whole different animal. So when you really lay it all out there and you put your story out and you get a little more vulnerable, and it's real, when you hold your book in your hand for the first time, like, oh shit, this is real. And then people start posting pictures of it on social media. You're like, oh, that's kind of weird.
I know. I can imagine.
But it's awesome. And it's a way for those of us who are being intentional with it to continue our mission and broaden our audience. My mission in life is to leave people better.
Yeah.
And I can reach so many more people with that book than I can almost anything else. And it's permanent.
Yeah.
So if somebody buys it, even if they're not reading it, but it's sitting on their desk and it says, make good choices. And every day they look over and they see the spine of the book and it says, make good choices. Like, it permeates in their head. And after a while, like I said, they may never open the book, but they see that. And then they go to lunch and they're like, fuck, make good choices. All right. Yep. I'll get a burger and a side salad instead of a burger and fries. It's those little things.
Yeah.
I'll go work out. I wasn't going to work out, but I'll go work out. I'll have the hard conversation that I need to have in order to move past things. Otherwise I would have just avoided it. So whatever those good choices are that people need to make, if I can remind anybody to do that, then I'm serving my purpose.
Yeah. So there's one thing that I do want to touch, because I know that my podcast before was WTF is Beauty Anyway, and it's launched to Own Your Own Shit. So I still have a lot of fitness people, nutrition people, beauty people that really are still engaging in a lot of my content. And so I wanted to share something that I think is actually super cool that you do, that, Marc has a coaching company where he actually helps personal trainers. And so can you talk a little bit more on that? Because I think that is a niche that is completely missing. That is super awesome, because the reason why I want to bring it up is I still help train athletes, right? I mean, just as a professional athlete, people look to me and I still help them with nutrition guidelines, and I do a little bit of coaching. And my biggest thing is finding a personal trainer in that person's city that they live in, right? Yeah. Because I can say, okay, I want you to do this, but it's different with somebody calling your ass out every day doing it, right? Versus me telling you to do it. So that's why I think this is just super beneficial for people out there in the fitness industry. And so I want you to share that, because I mean, what you have and what you created is a phenomenal idea.
So, the side of the mission that's Make America Fit Again, like I can only do so much. I'm one dude. And, I can coach online and I can make programs and all that stuff, but the reach is limited at some point. So last year when COVID hit, my buddy John and I realized that there's this huge gap in knowledge of how to coach online. And all these trainers and coaches and business owners that had their gym shut down were lost. Yep. Like, what do we do? Do I got to do a Zoom class all day? Or, we're like, no, don't do that. But I'd been coaching online for, 2-3 years at least prior to that, with like a clear-cut system, not just dabbling around or sending videos of myself or whatever. Like I had a whole system.
Please don't send videos of yourself.
No one wants that. No one wants that. People want to see me do burpees. That's about it. But, we were like, there's a gap in the market here and we need to serve. So again, looking at how do I go solve problems? So John and I start doing some lives in our group that's mostly fitness coaches, saying, hey, look, here's how you navigate this time. Here's how you set up your systems to coach people online. Here's how you keep in contact with all your clients and make sure that they're staying engaged, that whenever you open back up, that you still have your clients. Yeah. Because all mine were good. Like we were doing Zoom happy hours and I had them all set up in my system. I sent them home with equipment from the gym. So everyone, whether they did it or not, still on them. But, I was there for them in a time of uncertainty. And so out of that came this program that we created called the Fit Pro Collective, where we literally help coaches grow their coaching business. And it's everything from mindset to systems, client acquisition, client retention. And it's not the 6-week challenge bullshit. And it's not, hey, look at my abs, buy my shit. It's build a damn business. And what's happened is we're getting these coaches that have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on other coaching programs and got nothing from it. Mm-hmm. And the way we have it set up, it forces us to show up and help them. Yeah. You know, we don't take some large ass amount of money up front and send them 4 videos and go, good luck. Like, you know, we also come from the same background, and I'm still in the business too. So it's not like I'm removed from it like a lot of these other fitness business coaches where, you know, they think they can help somebody make 10 grand in 30 days. I mean, it's just unrealistic. That's like bringing somebody in the gym and going, oh yeah, we'll lose 40 pounds this month. No, you fucking won't.
No.
So, you know, part of it to me is if we can keep good coaches in business, then I get to continue my mission to make America fit again, because good coaches run good businesses and they help people.
Yeah.
And they have more clients and they have more revenue and they have more security. And then that trickle down effect is enormous. So a lot of it is really just to combat all the shitbags out there that take advantage of people.
Absolutely.
I hate seeing that. I hate seeing somebody put 10 grand on a credit card with a hope and a dream to grow a 6-figure business in 90 days, where even if they do, they won't be able to sustain it because they haven't learned the lessons to get there.
Amen.
And you and I know that growth has to happen. You know, it's like winning the lottery and you have no sense of money. You're going to be fucking broke in 2 years.
Yes.
So, you know, we really, you know, I'm passionate about the industry. I'm passionate about helping people. The obesity rate in this country isn't getting any better, and somebody's got to do something. So we're doing what we can do, and, you know, aligning with the right people, getting around the right networks, and doing what we can to influence the industry to actually make long-term change.
So where can people find this group?
So we have a website. It's fitprocollective.com. And then our Facebook group is Real Talk with Real Fit Pros. Mm-hmm. And that's a free group. That's open to anyone. You know, if you're listening to this and you're in the coaching realm of any sort, from personal training, group training, yoga, any of that stuff, highly encourage you to join the group. We have tons of training videos and guides and stuff that you can go in. And, you know, if somebody's willing to go do the work, and dive into what's in there, I guarantee you could add thousands of dollars per month to your bottom line just by going and implementing the free knowledge that's in there.
That's awesome. So in your program, what do they get? Do they get help with like their media, their social media, what to do on top of that? Or is it just building the online?
So we have an entire portal in that website with videos that take them step by step through things.
That's awesome.
And again, since John and I are both in Apex executives, we've been through the whole Build Your Machine program. You know, we teach to the social media methods that have been taught to us because they work.
Don't break it.
They absolutely work. So we're not reinventing the wheel on some of the stuff that we know without a doubt. Hey, this shit works. So we've been blessed with the knowledge. We've been blessed to be able to be in that environment. And we just pass that right along. We go, look, here's how you post on social media. Here's how you attract the right people. Here's how you not be douchey and go into people's DMs. Like, you know, we're teaching the good systems that get responded to well. So people, again, can build a sustainable business and they don't have to feel like they're being, you know, so many coaches like, I don't want to feel salesy. You know, we hear that all the time because they got into the business because they care about people.
Yeah.
They didn't realize they were going to have to be a salesperson in the process. And so anything you can do to take that sales feel out of things where it just becomes having a good conversation with somebody and saying, hey, look, you know what? You said you need to lose some weight. You said you got a bad self-image. Here's how I can help you. And here's how much it costs. It's so much better than some of these other programs that are teaching people to, well, if you get off the phone now, it's going to be $800 more when you call me back. And I hate that bullshit. Like, if you got a good product, you got a good product.
Yes. I just had that done to me recently. Anyway, I won't say who or what, but I was like, you know what? That is just an ending to a story that needs to stop now. So, but I've also coached like my girls that worked in the clinic that it's not that you're salesy, but if they're coming in for skin treatments and they have a problem, if you send them home because you feel bad that they're going to spend $300 on products to go home, you're doing a disservice to them.
Yep.
Because now you're sending them home using shitty stuff on their skin that is not going to do any result. So you're actually doing a disservice. And that's how I've always trained them. But yeah, so I just think what you created is phenomenal. And I think a lot of people should know about it, because I don't see it around a lot. And I think for personal trainers, it's a huge thing. And to build a group on top of that with fitness experts, that group is so beneficial for other people, just to drop knowledge or ask questions, Yeah.
And I think for a lot of the independent coaches out there, it's easy to think you're alone. It's easy to think that everyone else is doing great because all you see is their Instagram stories and their Facebook life, but we're all dealing with the same shit. Oh, yeah. So when you finally get around other people and you can be like, hey, I'm really having a hard time with XYZ, and somebody goes, hey, me too. And somebody else goes, hey, me too. And then somebody else chimes in and goes, you know what? I used to have that problem and here's what I did. And somebody else says, I used to have that problem and here's what I did. And then John and I can go, hey, here's what we teach our people. Why don't you try this, this, and this? Yeah. And then they come back 2 weeks later, like, holy shit, I got 3 clients and all I did was that one little thing you told me to do. So that's the change that we know we can make.
And if anybody's listening to this is like a nugget right here. This is a huge nugget. And this is with anything in life, is that it's being vulnerable and saying, I don't know that. Even to this day, there'll be things that will go into the Apex executives, and we're coaches, and I'll be like, I don't know how to do that. Somebody please help me.
I don't know a lot of stuff in there.
But the thing is that is what makes it awesome. And vulnerable, because we have to do that in order to get better. Or if not, we're going to be like our 24-year-old version that just falls flat on our face and has to learn the freaking hard way. Right.
Every time we have one of those meetings, you learn the people that, like, when they start talking, you just shut up because
listen.
I'm about to learn something, and holy Lord, some of those people in there are just so much smarter than me. That's how you know you're in the right place, though, right?
Amen.
Like when you feel real stupid because smart people are talking, like, yep, I'm right where I need to be. I'm going to take some notes. Yep. I'm going to go learn whatever that was that they talked about because I don't even understand any of that. It's
I'm with you, Mark.
Oh my gosh.
So before we end all of this, what do you feel like you want people to know about owning their shit going forward in this life right now?
I think the biggest thing is that there's so much power behind it. And all people see sometimes is they're like, man, yeah, but if I do this, then I'm going to be required to keep doing that. Right. So like, there's the fear of success, which is weird. Like, a lot of people don't understand there's a fear of success because you start to succeed and now there's this expectation, but that expectation is yours. Like, nobody, and look, at the end of the day, this is going to sound real crass, but at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit about you.
They don't.
They really don't. And it's kind of harsh to say that, but there's probably like 2 people in this world that legitimately love and care about you. And everyone else, all your friends, most of your family, they really don't. And it's not a bad thing. It just is what it is. So when you are able to just own who you are, that means you get to own how you operate in this world. And that means you get to wake up every day and go do what the fuck you want to do.
Yep.
And, within reason, you're not going to go out and harm people. If you're a serial killer, please don't go do that. But I think so many of us for so many years do all the things that everyone else wants us to do, or that society tells you to do. And you chase the money because, well, if you just make 6 figures, then, life's going to be grand. And then you make $100 grand. You're like, well, that's not a lot of money either. What the fuck? Where's all my money? you know, and all these things that we think are going to solve our problems don't. And it takes going and looking in the mirror and go, what the fuck are we doing, dude?
Yep.
Like that's what it takes. And when you finally get to that point, and I think life has to pull that out of you, you know, no ageism here, but I don't know that a 25-year-old can do that. You haven't gone through enough shit. You haven't had kids. You haven't been married long enough. Like there's a whole curve of things that we have to navigate through that teach you what's really important and what should be your priorities in life. And that's what it takes to get to that point of like, oh shit, all of this is because of me and my shitty choices. Like we are all right where we are because of the best decisions that we've made to this point. Now they may be bad decisions, but at the time it was the best decision in our head that we were making. Otherwise we wouldn't have made it. And when you start to understand that and you go, oh shit, like literally everything I do affects everything else.
Yeah.
So the more good choices you can make, the better life becomes. And it's all aligned and it feels good. And then you get to take responsibility when you fuck it up and do something about it.
Yep.
If I drop the ball, if I make a mistake, if I promise something to somebody and I don't follow through, but I own it, that means I get to get better next time.
Yeah.
If I blame you or Ryan or Mike or Chris or, you know, if I blame all those things, I don't get to grow.
Yep.
So owning your shit means growing, period.
Absolutely. And we all have those pivotal moments in our lives. And I don't know, for me, I feel like in your 30s, late 30s is when you start realizing your own your shit moments that you need to own your shit.
I agree. You know, I'm 42, 2 kids, 2 baby mamas. Mm-hmm. You know, was married to the first baby mama, divorced real, you know, we were both stupid. You know, I was like 22. So, you know, an idiot back then. They really shouldn't let people marry that young.
I was 18, I know. I'm with you.
But you're right. Like you gain perspective over time. And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to be self-reflective and go, oh yeah, all that stuff was shitty because of me, then you really do get to grow. And then you get to get around the right people who also want that same thing.
Yeah.
And then you get to find out what do you want to be when you grow up.
Yeah. Still don't know. Jesus.
You don't have to pick. We got time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for hanging. I really appreciate you. And I think this is phenomenal. And I appreciate you for hanging with me. So thank you.
You're awesome. I appreciate the opportunity. You know, we occupy this weird space and most of us are in this weird season of life where we're just trying to figure out where we fit in and how we can continue to impact. And I think it's important to have these conversations and allow people to listen in and pick out the nuggets. So if there's anything that you said today or that I said today, if it's just one thing, if you're listening to this, just one thing, listen for that one thing and then go do something with it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to resonate with everything that we say or preach or whatever, but if you can find that one nugget, that one wisdom piece to go, oh shit, I never thought about things this way, then you and I are serving our purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. So where can people find you?
I'm on the Facebooks. I live there. It's my second residence. My group is the Make America Fit Again group. My book is Make Good Choices on the Amazons. And my fitness website is marczfitness.com. Simple as that.
Awesome. And I will have everything linked when we send this out. So everybody will be able to see who you are and where to find you. And that's a wrap. So thank you. Thank you for hanging with me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. So please rate, review, like, share, do your due diligence, and have a phenomenal week, you guys. Well, guys, that's a wrap for another episode of Own Your Own Shit. Now that this is half the battle, owning your shit allows you the freedom to create something even better in your life. Getting out of your own way, it doesn't have to be lonely. Making sure to follow me for more advice. Follow me on every social media platform at Jen Carrasco. My Instagram is Jen Carrasco with 2 underscores. Find me on Facebook at the same name. And of course, share the episode with friends who need some help in the tough times and typically helping them to own their shit. So with that being said, see you guys next week.